Good day. African tradition and history exist since life is in the earth. The formation of the universe 13.6 billion years ago with the Big Bang gave way since 3.8 billion years to the first atoms and the first traces of life on Earth. Since these very ancient times, Africa, the cradle of humanity, created, developed and used everything that ensured the survival of man until the current times. The age of the oldest hominid ancestor of modern man is 7 million years. He is named Tumai, discovered in Africa in the Republic of Chad in year 2003. After many other ones of the less age were previously discovered in Ethiopia, Kenya and Tanzania, all of them in Africa. 7 million years of strategies, methodologies, rules, actions, behaviors to preserve and develop man life in the earth. The well-known African oral culture, comprising myths, legends, folk songs, folk tales, proverbs and dance, provided by griots, which are walking dictionaries, a verbal artist is still active to preserve native culture of Africa. There are musicology and ethnomusicology with immemorial music and body expression, folklore, songs and dances, games which are carried out with the unique, well-known African communautarism and communicative joie de vivre. African customary celebration, lifestyles, manifestation and relationships as tradition-oriented society have been characterized in valuing filial piety, harmony and group's welfare, stability and interdependence. We know African ancient religion-specific spirituality with animism, totems, sorcerers and patriarch. African ancestral medicine and pharmacopoeia have demonstrated its efficiency. Much more, the inheritance of African tradition is source of inspiration and knowledge in many domains like politics, philosophy, biology, archaeology, sociology, where traditional society is opposed to modern and industrial one in anthropology and African history. Africa has a specific great variety of food, unalterable and inexhaustible arts and crafts and sculpture, a unique myriad of thousands languages, each with specific indigenous knowledge which is useful to human life. Africa has provision and laws for all stages of life. Passage, rites, and related ceremonies for birth, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, weddings, old age, connection to the death with funerary ceremonies on the funerals and beyond. There are ancestral customs, beliefs, behavior, and morality, conventions, norms, routines, and rules. African tradition have also progressive laws for women. Yes, as we said, Africa has also progressive laws for women, despite the common non-contrary for men, for marriage, for work, and many more. This is a tremendous knowledge, is what we call tradition, culture, and history. Unfortunately, despite this evidence, the world has widely established African history and tradition in the solely period covered by slavery, that is from the 15th to 18th century, and colonialization from 19th to 20th century, that is since 500 years only, as compared to the 7 million years of the oldest ancestor of man, with invention and pseudo traditions by the occupying forces to legitimize their evil actions, the one which destroyed a numbered African population and civilization. Because of this, the great majority of Africans lost their roots and native identity. We know, without its roots, a tree cannot extract necessary nutrients from soil to ensure its growth and stay. And it is same for man, as we know. Therefore, how will Africa grow when its kids worldwide do not have good knowledge of the true rich tradition, history, and culture of their continent, which are the roots? At the current time, Africa is home to 54 recognized sovereign states and countries, 9 territories, and 2 de facto independent states with very little recognition. Africa is today the second largest and second most populous continent on the earth, with an estimated population in year 2013 of 1.33 billion people. It doubled in size over the course of 27 years with a large percentage of young people. The African population growth prediction for year 2050 is 2 billion. The boom in Africa population will be in sub-Sahara. By year 2100, it will reach 4.1 billion people, to claim over 1/3 of the world's population. Most African countries will at least triple in population, as the region has very high fertility rates and very little family planning in most regions. Look at the Africa's Nigeria specific case. Currently, one of the most populous countries in the earth, and as China's population shrinks and India plateaus, Nigeria will reach nearly 1 billion people by year 2100 and come close to surpassing China. This is a pretty amazing considering the country size compared to India or China or the USA. Nigeria is set for one of the biggest population booms in world history, and it's expected to increase by a factor of 8 in just 2 or 3 generations. In the year 2100, 3/4 of the world growth is expected to come from Africa. This growth rate will make Africa the more important, and it will be more important than ever, the global economy and more. Africa, currently the lowest population density in the world, is about 65 people per square mile. The Africa still has a great capacity of development for its population and economic growth. The current state and evolution of the world with global communication and economy is a very good opportunity to bring more genuine and original education to Africans on African ancient time and traditions, which are unfortunately not well known today, if not abandoned in some areas. One must have strong roots in this native earth to achieve sustainable development. The Africa Tradition Online Encyclopedia ATOE project is our answer to that evident necessity. All the people worldwide who have based their evolution on culture, tradition, and history of others have failed. The ones who do it from their native roots and identity emerge and have rapid development. The Asian and all emerging and new developed countries are good examples of that affirmation. The current global context is one of the uncertainty, anxiety, questioning, quest, change, and revolution. But in an open and globalized environment where each problem, anywhere it is in the earth, has consequences in the rest of the planet and therefore draws the attention of all countries and requires their response and participation. Africa is deeply integrated in that environment and it must participate in order to survive. The ATOE project scope therefore covers Africa as the physical and original provider of the concerned tradition in terms of input and as the primary beneficiary of these traditions, followed by the rest of the world because of the historical and traditional position of Africa as the cradle of humanity. As recognized by the power brokers of this discipline, the purpose of an encyclopedia is to collect knowledge disseminated around the globe, to set forth its general system to the men with whom we live, and transmit it to those who will come after us, so that the work of preceding centuries will not become useless to the one to come, and so that our offspring becoming better instructed to be the same time and become more virtuous, and that we should not die without having rendered a service to the human race in the future years to come. An electronic encyclopedia, like its print counterpart, provides extensive information covering general knowledge or specific disciplines through a vast portion of articles, typically arranged alphabetically or indexed by title. Advances in the representation and presentation of universal characters, set images, sounds, video, and interactive graphics allows today electronic encyclopedias to present multimedia articles that are competitive with those found in the conventional print encyclopedias. These online encyclopedias offer the additional advantage of being dynamic, as new information can be integrated and presented almost immediately rather than waiting for the next release of the static format as with a disc or paper-based publication. The 21st century has seen the dominance of wikis as popular electronic encyclopedias. Wills, the founder of Wikipedia, has described it as an effort to create and distribute a multilingual free encyclopedia of the highest possible quality to every single person in the planet in their own languages. So, it is that same objective we assign to contributors of the African Traditions Online Encyclopedia, to produce great amount of content, thousands of excellent articles from the rich and millions of years of African tradition, culture and history, to get high-profile international recognition and be available freely to all Africans anywhere they are and to any people worldwide at the language they prefer. These are fundamental challenges of the African Tradition Online Encyclopedia, ATOE. Your individual and collective contribution of all kinds worldwide are necessary. They are the one which will make the ATOE project a success for the sustainable development of Africa. These contributions are strongly awaited. Blessings and thank you.